Hello, my friends on YouTube. Today is Sunday, September 11th, 2022. That marks 21 years since the attack on the United States of America in New York City, in Washington, D.C., and there was one more plane that it fell in Pennsylvania that was targeting the White House. Anyway, today's video is what is the common factor between a child called Shenouda, and Zainab bint Jahsh. Jahsh means actually a young donkey, daughter of Jahsh. I don't know if the names, did name cost money back then? I don't know. Anyway, it's not the issue, it's not the subject. For many people, especially those who don't speak Arabic, today actually I was about to speak about something very important, something different. However, something happened in Egypt that I had to speak about this because I had to go back to their roots, because many people actually they say this unhuman and this is bad, and however nobody is going to the root of the problem. And I understand, out of fear probably, because they can be targeted, they can be killed. I mean, we heard of Salman Rushdie, the fact that he criticized Islam, he almost lost his life, and many people lost their lives. I know in India, in Pakistan, in Egypt, and anyone who doesn't comply with certain Muslim groups, oftentimes they accuse him or her of you insulted the Prophet, hence you ought to die. So I mean, nobody really wants to face what Salman Rushdie faced, and many other people lost their lives. But hey, in my opinion, you have to do what you have to do. Okay, let's see who is that child called Shenouda. That child was found in a church in Egypt, in Cairo, about 4.5 years ago. Was a newborn. And from my experience as an Egyptian, I know people make mistakes, and this is not really something in America and probably also in Europe. Okay, a child, a girl got pregnant, she conceived out of wedlock, and she gave birth to that child. It's not the best. Nobody celebrates that kind of relationship very much. But does that happen? Yes, it does. And it happens everywhere. In Egypt, they have orphanage. Why do you have orphanage in Egypt? For these cases. In Morocco, in Tunisia, in Jordan. So the fact that these orphanages do exist, it's a testimony that people sometimes they do these things, and the woman gets pregnant, and if she cannot, because this is very shameful in the Middle East area, to have a child without being married, without having a father for this child, so they give that child to the orphanage. However, the orphanage known not to care for the children, and oftentimes when they grow up they are abused physically, sexually, and in all other means. I never been to an orphanage, I never seen children in orphanage, but that is a reputation that everyone knows about the orphanage, because these children, nobody will ask about them and their well-being, so they are fair game. So this lady who gave birth to that child, obviously, if she put that baby in a church, that indicates that she is from a Christian background, and she would prefer to leave him in a church so a Christian family can care for him. She didn't put, we have Jewish synagogue and we have many mosques in Egypt. She didn't leave him in a mosque, she didn't leave him in a synagogue, but she left him in a church. Okay, he was found in the church, and in that particular church, there were a couple who been married for 29 years. However, they never conceived. And I mean, honestly, 99.99% of people when they get, if not all people when they get married, is to have a family, to have a child, to have children. And this family tried to conceive, tried everything. What happened is they didn't conceive. So when they saw that child, they suggested we take that child, we adopt him. I mean, in any average country, will say to this family, yes, you need a child, God bless you. Now you are blessed with a child, you're on your way, take care of him. Instead of putting him in the orphanage, you will treat him as your own child. You will care for him or her. You will raise him up. Okay? For 4.5 years, the new parents cared for that child, raised him up very well. However, there was a young lady from the husband side of that family who adopted the child. She went to the authority and she told the authority that child was kidnapped. Why would she do that? Because according to the law in Egypt, when this couple passes away because they don't have children of their own, part of their inheritance, and it seems to be that they are kind of wealthy people, part of their inheritance will go to this lady. But when you have a presence of an offspring, even they didn't give that child birth, the fact that they have a child now, a son, nothing, no benefit will go to that lady. So she wanted to move that child from the picture, so when they die, she can get some inheritance. Totally selfish motivation. I mean, you should really be happy that after 29 years, they have a child. Anyway, this is not the issue. What does that child and this Christian family have to do with the name Zainab bint Jahsh? Who is Zainab bint Jahsh to start with? She is a woman who existed at the time of the Islamic ideology, the coming of the Islamic ideology spread by the founder. His name was Muhammad, not Muhammad Ayad, not me. And that woman later on was found out that she was a woman. Okay. I guess because she's covered totally, you can't see. But if you see her in a private home, in a private setting, and you see how she is built, it's a different issue. So what is the story of this woman, Zainab bint Jahsh? Zainab bint Jahsh was married to the adopted son of Muhammad, the founder of Islam. Yes, Muhammad, the founder of Islam, had an adopted son. His name was Zayd. At this time, he was called Zayd bin Muhammad, meaning Zayd, son of Muhammad. Later on, he changed him Zayd bin Harith, his father's name, original father. That young man, Zayd, was an orphan. Muhammad himself, before marrying the wealthy woman Khadija, he was an orphan. And he knew how difficult it is to be an orphan. So we really have to give him a point on that he, whatever good you do, it should be acknowledged. So because he knew that orphan child, an orphan child suffers, he took that boy Zayd and he raised him up. Thank you very much, that was good. And when Zayd became an adult, he wanted to get married like everybody else. Zayd was dark-skinned person, and we know that especially the people who are following this group, to them blondies and light-skinned people are more desired. So they wanted to marry him to a woman called Zainab, a young lady called Zainab bint Jahsh, bint Jahsh or Jahsh, it depends on where you are from. So as an orphan, any woman is fine, you know. But this lady, she wanted a lighter skinned guy. But the Prophet told her, you know, he's a good guy and good luck and marry him. So they got married. The problem happened later. Later on, the Prophet of Allah goes to visit the house of his adopted son. The house of his adopted son, normally people go out to work in the morning during the day. They have things to do. So normally the tradition in this region, you leave your wife, she takes care of the house, and you go out, you do what you need to do, and then you come back home at the end of the day. In the middle of the day, the Prophet of Allah goes to visit his adopted son's house. Did he know that he is out working? Maybe. Maybe that's why he went while he is not there. Maybe not. But in the teaching of Islam, in the Quran, it says before you go to any house that is not yours, you knock. And that's normal. Even if I have a son who is married, I don't go to his bedroom while he is not there, where his wife is in her bedroom, open the bedroom and go and without knocking. Maybe she is not decent. Maybe she is changing. Maybe she is naked and going to take shower. It's not because she is my son's wife that I can open her door at any time. So let's see if he knocked on the door or not. Let's say he did knock. Who is there? I am the Prophet of Allah. Okay, give me a second, Mr. Prophet. And I know the temperature in this area, in this region, it gets very high. And there was no air condition, and therefore probably people at home, they take the top off or whatever, or maybe they walk naked, I don't know, or they have very little clothing. So if he knocked and she knew that there is a man outside the door, isn't it obvious to say, wait a moment, I'm going to get decent and put something on? Why she didn't put anything on if he knocked? Maybe if he knocked and she didn't put anything on, that means probably she wanted him to see the merchandise. What if he didn't knock? It's worse. Because you're teaching, you say you knock on doors before you get in. Why you didn't knock? Why you go to your son's home while he's not there and you open the door, and you know probably that was the what everybody's doing because of the heat. They hardly wear anything at home. It's hot. It gets more than 120 degrees Fahrenheit. So no air condition, people take the clothes off to feel relief. Why do you go and open the door without knocking then? And he saw her either naked or almost naked. So when he saw the merchandise, he said words of gratitude to God for creating this beautiful merchandise. He went away. Her husband came, Zayd. She told him of what have happened, and the Prophet said, if his eyes fall on any woman, her husband must divorce her and give her to him to enjoy her beauty, enjoy intercourse with her. So according to the tradition that he put, Zayd, his son, ought to divorce his wife and give her to the Prophet. It should, I mean, they are treating a person, a human being, a woman, as it. Give it to him to enjoy. That's what he told them. And maybe also she wanted him because she was not convinced to marry this young guy who was orphan. He doesn't have much of a future, and the Prophet is going out every couple of weeks, invading here, conquering there, taking 20% looting. He's doing business. He'll buy her stuff. We don't know the truth because it is not written in great details. These things, nobody will write about them. Maybe something happened between in private before the incident. She invited him. Zayd is not at home tomorrow, Prophet of Allah. Why don't you come and have a cup of tea with us, with me? And she made sure to look the way she looked. It could. So, when he saw her, he couldn't control. And this is, by the way, this is the very same woman, I spoke about that before, when he was sitting outside his home with his friends talking, and one lady passed by, and he told his friends, he left them first, went to that woman, the original wife of his adopted son, and she was working at home, cooking or doing something, and told her, stop everything, take your clothes off, come help me. Because he saw a woman, a Muslim woman, who was covered, passing by. He leaves his friends. I don't know how does that go, but anyway, he leaves his friends waiting for him. He goes inside. Zainab bint Jahsh, the original wife of his son, his adopted son, takes care of his whatever, and when he is done, he goes out to his friends and tell them, the woman comes in a form of Satan and depart in a form of a Satan. So practically he shouldn't see a woman going or coming. What if she's going to the market to buy some stuff for her family? No. She passes as a Satan. Return home as a Satan. Okay. What does that all have to do with each other? When the Prophet of Allah wanted to take this woman, and his son came, he said, I give you my wife. Kind of like playing games. No, keep your wife for yourself. No, I have many women here. No. So what's his name? The angel Gabriel comes with the message. I'm going to put that in the description box. Of all the people that followed Muhammad, only this man, his son Zayd, mentioned in Quran. Not the early followers who suffered with him in the beginning when he was in Mecca, have nothing to eat. No, only Zayd, because that was unheard of to the people of this region. You don't marry the wife of your adopted child. A woman, a mother, cannot marry the husband of her adopted daughter. Automatically they become your own children. You cannot marry them. So he knew that this will be a big obstacle. When he takes the wife of his adopted son, the people of Arabia will wonder, what the hell are you doing? So the angel had to help at this moment. So he came with the Quranic verse when after Zayd, his adopted son, put his mark on that woman, opened the path for her, the Prophet. The Prophet now, the path is open, the Prophet can enjoy. Practically, this is what it is saying in the Quran. Practically. Okay? Out of shame, because it's shameful. Let's be plain and straightforward. It's shameful. Out of shame, he, the Prophet of Islam, or the founder of Islam, stopped something called adoption. No more adoption. There's nothing. You shouldn't have a child who is not your own, of your own lineage, of your own semen, as your son or daughter. Even if you don't conceive, even if your seed is dead, even if your wife does not conceive, done. If the wife does not conceive, that's it. If the husband have dead seed, that's it. And many people in the Islamic countries, they are in pain. They would love to adopt, but the law, it says no, not in Islam. And because it's Islamic law that it's applied in Egypt, that child was taken, even though he is in a Christian family, was taken from his parents, change his name, put in an orphanage. And that's Islam. That is not. I'm going to put you the story, and I'm going to put you the Quranic verse in the description box. Please like, share, and we hope to hear from you. Thank you very much.